Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel and the next to last leg of our Caro-Kann speedrun, where I will be playing 5+0 games from the black side as we move on up the ladder and go from 1800 up to 1900. As always, I want these to be educational and instructive, so make sure you have your hand on the mouse and you are prepared to pause the video when you see and hear the tactics recognition buzzer, so you can find these moves on your own. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and commenting on anything. See if you can comment without using the word algorithm. So thanks so much, guys, and let's get to it.
And here we go.
Welcome to the next leg of our Caro-Kann speedrun, 1800 to 1900, and we're starting off with the exchange. What are they going to do? C3 or knight C3? Oh, this line. Okay. So that means that we're going to play bishop to F5. If they play, okay. Interesting. We'll take that. One less piece to harass us on H7. Okay, knight F6. Let's see if they put the bishop on G5. We do our normal, okay, so they are going F4. So now, since they don't put the bishop on G5, and we're not going to try our normal bishop D6, queen C7, they take, we take castle, short, and G-file stuff. What is our other plan of attack? Carlsbad structure, right? So now we have our minority attack idea. We do need to castle. Bishop D6, bishop E7. Yeah, a lot of times in these structures, they want us to go bishop D6. We take, well, not in that situation. They can't put the knight there, but they want to get their knight into E5 and play F4. They jump the knight in immediately. Yeah, then we play here. Okay, I'm going to put the bishop on E7. And let's just go for our normal minority attack stuff. Now here I am going to challenge, well, let's think about this for a second. Let's go with A6 and then B5. A lot of times I like to get this knight to the C4 square. Maybe queen B6, and then we're going to attack. Minority attack style. Yeah, so I want to push A5, but that hangs. So I'm thinking queen B6 here. Don't see anything wrong with that. Checklist. Everything looks pretty good. Play the move. Our king is very safe. Their king is very safe. We're not leaving anything hanging. They don't have anything hanging or that we can attack easily. And now we just want to go with our normal plan. Now, that I am going to take. Because if they take with the bishop, I want to drop the knight back. I want to get rid of this dark squared bishop. Actually, can we tempt them to take? I think we can, because we pull the queen back to C7, and because we have D5 and B5 played, they don't really have a very good pawn break. So I think we'll go for this. See if they'll. Okay, so we are going to get it. We are going to get it. Just in a little bit different fashion. So, yep, now we like to play our F5 move. King in the corner, and let's play on the G file. Ooh, don't like that move for white at all. Why? Because I'd rather see white play B3 so that after we double over here, they at least have a chance at the c4 break. But now that they put the pawn here, they can move this pawn. It'll be a couple of years, but you know that severely weakens the c4 square. Now they do have a knight, but another possible plan of attack. Okay, so we can't go here. Sorry, we can't go here because that falls. So let's put our queen back on c7. That defends this. That hits c3, and now we're ready to double. Wait, what is that? They want to give that to us, huh? It might be a poison pawn. I'm not sure we want to take that because then they go here and they could infiltrate. Okay, so I'm going to ignore that. Okay, they want to go here, right? Okay, so we might need to play this to stop that. If we go here, they go here. We do have f6 to defend laterally, but I'm not so keen on pushing f6 because that weakens e6. So I think I will play this move. If they play that, we know what to do, don't we? We know what to do. Ooh, well, I'm definitely taking that. Can't allow that knight to sit there. So now if they take with the rook, I absolutely 100% will take that. Because then we're hitting d4 and the rook. Whoa. Oh, I'm down to a minute. I'm running my mouth too much again. Golly. Okay, they want to go here, check, right? Okay, so now we can go here, check, block. I think this is okay. Uh-huh. Okay, let's go check here. And maybe push, give the king a square to escape to. I don't understand that move. Oh, they have a draw, don't they? They have a perpetual. Okay. Well, now they don't. I'm gonna pin that. Ooh, like, mm-mm. Oh no, no, can't do that. Yeah, I made a pretty big misstep, I think, because that game should have ended in a draw, and now it's lost for white. So we made a boo boo. Where did we make the boo boo? Okay, yeah. Maybe we shouldn't have brought the queen around to h5. All right, let's see how we did. Okay, so 90%. Kudos to my opponent. I thought white played fantastic. I don't think they should have allowed us to capture a couple of those squares on the dark squares when they took with the rook. I think probably they needed to take with the pawn, but I think white played pretty well. So the mistake is probably somewhere where we allow the perpetual. Okay, let's go through this right here. All book stuff. Yeah, so when they play h3, we're never pinning the knight, so bishop f5 is the move. We always snap that bad boy off. Yep. e6 is best. Yeah, what's the difference in those? That's minus 0.1. That's minus 0.2, about a pawn, tenth of a pawn difference. Yeah, here I thought for a bit. I wasn't exactly sure about bishop e7 or bishop d6. So and bishop d6 does kind of maybe provoke them to go bishop g5 and try to double our pawns and get the same kind of structure that we actually got in the game. I decided to put it on e7. Okay, let's take a look right here. So, All book stuff, book stuff. Yeah, good moves. So now we are not going to pin the knight on f3 with the bishop, so we play bishop to f5. Love to see that move. We're always going to snap that off. Yep, that's the best move. e6 is the best move. Okay, he wants to go bishop d6. That's minus 0.1. This is minus 0.2. Tenth of a pawn, okay? And here I took some time. I wasn't exactly sure about bishop e7 or bishop d6. I thought maybe bishop d6, then again, with this bishop on f4, they got some decent control over e5. So I wasn't 100% sure sure about that. So I decided on e7. Which one is best? Neither. Okay. I think I might have spent like 2 milliseconds on that move. This is a London type move, right? So when white plays bishop to f4, they play e3 in the London. You want to put your knight here and maybe attack a square that has nothing on it. You want to put your knight here and then attack the bishop. Now, I'm going to get to this in the master class on the London system. I actually like that when I play the London from white, but yeah, I'm not really thinking too much about that move. So, okay, so I played bishop e7. That's 0.05. What was bishop d6? That is 0.0. Wait, what? Wait, bishop e7, 0.05. Bishop d6. Are y'all seeing this? Did I just lose a grip on reality? Am I in the middle of the space-time continuum? This is 0.05. That's an excellent move. This is 0.01, which is better for black. That's a lower evaluation for white. And this is an inferior move? Excellent. Better evaluation, worse move.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah, I don't understand physics anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna act like I'm just gonna continue to exist. If that's all right with y'all. Okay, queen b6. Okay, so yeah, I do want to talk about this for just a moment here. So I was wondering after I put the bishop on e7, maybe I should have put it on d6 because now the bishop on f4 is guarding the b8 square. We have this Carlsbad structure that we've seen before, so we already know that the minority attack is one of our plans in the exchange variation. 2 pawns against 3 pawns. So we want to launch and attack the base of this pawn chain to create some weaknesses, an isolated pawn, maybe on the d file, a backwards pawn, or something. But what we'd like to do typically is to put the rook on b8 first. So let's say the bishop was on g5 or the dark square bishop was already traded off. We want to put the rook here, then play b5. We'd like to play b5 first, but in this case, that's not possible. So we put the rook there first, then b5, then a5. And some of you guys might say, well, why don't you just play a6 and b5? You can, but that's an extra tempo. So check this out. Rook to b8, that's one move. b5, that's 2 moves. a5, that's 3 moves. We need the pawn on a5 so that when we push b4, we have the option to either take back with a pawn or the pawn is just sitting there adding more protection to the b4 square if we decide to take it with another piece. So don't miss this. 1, 2, 3 moves. But if you play a6, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to get the pawn to a5. That's why we like to start off with b5 if possible. So I was like, can't get the rook there. Yeah, so a6 was the best move. And then we want to launch here. Queen b6. We just stepped in front of our minority attack pawn. I'm not sure I understand that. We're attacking this. They can just... Not too sure about that one. I always want to launch with the b pawn. Yeah, queen b6. And of course, computer doesn't think too much about queen b6 now. But yeah, I immediately wanted to take that. Why? Okay, so if I take this, I'm drawing the bishop to a square where now we can attack it a little bit easier. So now we can attack it with this. We can attack it with this. I thought about it. I wasn't quite sure. I want to try to go for the line where they take the knight and then, we double on the G file. Computer doesn't like that. Of course, it wants to go. Of course, it wants to go knight d7. But from a human point of view, I like to kind of go for this line. It's actually that is the best move, so I guess it doesn't matter either way. Okay, f5 is the best move there. Computer says that's the best move. Wow, you are severely weakened. Weakening c3. You're weakening c4. I mean, yes, maybe you have an extra outpost for the knight on c5, but I feel like this knight needs to be over here to guard against the double rooks on the G file. Okay, king in the corner is best. That's a mistake. Why is that a mistake? Okay, queen c7, best move, guarding that. Best move. That was a mistake. Computer's fearless, huh? Doesn't mind the knight going to g5. Wants us to go rook here. Man. We go here, they go here. I guess we have to play rook g7, right? I guess that's okay. Obviously, it's okay. Computer says it's okay, but man, that's scary. Two attackers on both of these pawns, but I guess they don't have a way to dislodge the rook. So, right, because now I guess yeah, they can't do that because now we play bishop to f4, and that's actually game over. So, all right. So maybe I was a little bit too concerned. I was too concerned about this. I should have just let it happen. Yeah, can't let the knight sit there. Doesn't want to pick off these pawns, huh? Really? Wants to just double, huh? I'm going to take the A pawn. Somewhere in here I messed up. Why is that a blunder? I missed F6.
Bruh.
I know what it is. I know what it is, guys. I have a good memory. I'm pretty sure somebody can go back, look in the video, rewind and see. I'm pretty sure I said at 54 seconds, I said, oh my gosh, I'm low on time. I had to start speeding up. That's why. So I'm going to blame this on.
Blame it on the rain, yeah.
Maybe not on that. I'm going to blame this on the fact that all I saw was check here, which is a horrible, lame excuse for not seeing that elementary. Okay. That was a miss. Wanted to give the check first. Yes, then maybe bring. So I'm guessing bring the queen around to h5 was not good, this little idea. Because they're able to take and get a perpetual. Oh, that is the best move. That's the best move. How is that the best move? This is a draw. It's strange. So I blew it there for sure. I blew it. Yeah, missing that. I deserve to be slapped on the wrist for that. That's horrible. So here, yeah, and then when they didn't take the draw, I didn't understand this. Obviously, the pawn is pinned, but now we get out of the draw because now if you go here, we block. You don't have the f6 square to go back to. It's just lost. Yeah, just pin the. Yeah, just pin the pawn, and we have a protected pass pawn. That's game over. Oh, these are best moves. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So I blew it there, allowing the perpetual, but 90%, I guess that's a good start, but on to game two. Here we go with game number 2, playing Pierre Graham, Venezuela. How about a fantasy? God, finally. We hit him with the anti-fantasy, E5, and they need to take that Gambit. If they do not take that, ooh, they didn't take it. That's a no-no. So if they don't take this and they don't play knight c3, those are the only two things. If they don't do one of those two moves, then you moved your F pawn, boss. Boom. Check. Hmm. Take. Take. Hmm. And now we just play c5, I think. Hmm. It'll be hard to hold on to that pawn after they probably need to play bishop g5. Ooh. Okay, so they want to go here, right? Uh-huh. I like bishop f5 to hit c2, but they are threatening to go here and then push, and they're hitting b7. So, with that in mind, a little bit of an unusual position because they didn't necessarily play this all that great. I guess we'll still go bishop f5. If they go here, we'll take c2. If they push it, we just play. They push it, we'll just play knight c6. Uh huh. That makes me want to play that move. We need a castle though. Don't necessarily want them coming here though, threatening knight c7. So I'm thinking maybe drop the bishop all the way back. Cannot really allow that move. I'm going to go here. Stop that. Start this. Mm-hmm. They're not really threatening anything there that I can see. Yeah, I kind of want to play knight d7 and just castle. Knight d7 push. We just castle. I'm protecting this. Don't see anything wrong with that. They hit the bishop. We can just go here. Now, if you move that, probably will take that. If you push here, I probably will drop the bishop back. I don't want to take and then kind of repair their structure. I'm thinking just drop the bishop back here. Okay, time to castle, I think. Hmm. So now I'm thinking maybe knight here to try to put some pressure here. Knight f6, but that blocks in this knight. I don't really know. That does look attractive, though. How are you stopping? How are you protecting that? Push it. We still got two attackers on that. Yeah, this looks strong. They're in a bit of a pinch here. They can't move the knight. That drops that knight. Don't see a way for them to hold on to this. Mm-hmm. Threatening this. Yeah, we can go knight h6. Um, yeah, knight h6 is probably best. Then I probably want to go here, try to get rid of this good like squared bishop. The rook is hanging, but I didn't really want to allow that. Yeah. Okay, now we can go here. Now we still fork them, so now I think we feel pretty comfortable. Mhm. Take that guy, kick this good knight away. Maybe reroute to e3. Looks sensible. We got to get this bishop in the game. I'm going to snap that guy off immediately. Immediately. All right, let's develop. And let's take control of the central files. Okay, don't know what that move does. Mm-hmm. Just don't allow any kind of nonsense with them pushing and get their knight here. Okay. Oh, they are double attacking that. I missed that. Okay, let's go. Do we have the tactic? I believe we do. I believe we do. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Now I want to double, I think. Hmm. Nope. Ah, sorry, I don't have time for the buzzer, guys. Sack the rook. We get 2 pieces for the rook. Mm-hmm. Give a spot check. We'll come back, figure out what to do about their battery on the B file. I'm going to go here. I'm going to have to speed up. That's unstoppable. Also, this looks good. Stop that. Actually, I'll just go ahead and get a set of rooks off. Probably the easiest thing to do. They're playing this well. They are playing this fantastically. Hey, how are you guarding that? No, no. You can go. Okay. Oh, don't allow that. Oh my good Lord, have mercy. Good game. Okay. Yeah, don't care about that. We pushing, baby. Sure. Sure. Yeah, I thought White, they messed up the beginning, but I thought White played that extremely well. I thought that was very good resistance after those first few moves. So we finally got to see a freaking fantasy. So happy, bro. Let's see how we did. 85% with a brilliancy. Yes, sir. I'm just grinning ear to ear. I can't believe it. I face a fantasy all the time. All the time. I don't know if I face it every single day, but I don't go 3 days in a row without seeing it. So I'm glad you guys finally got to see our secret sauce Gambit. So hit him with E5. Of course, engine doesn't like that, but we do. Yeah, that's an accuracy. They have to take that. So let me remind you guys real quick about the actual theory, the main line. So the main line is we take, and it actually doesn't matter which piece we go here to either the bishop or the queen. Doesn't really matter. So we go bishop here. They go knight here. We go queen here. We're threatening the knight. They go here, forcus. We go check. They go here. We go queen to d4. Offer trade of queens. They oblige. We take. They're supposed to push this pawn, right? That doesn't seem very human. The correct move is to push. We take, and then they go bishop here, and then we take, and then they take. There's nothing we can do about this pawn. We push f6, and they don't take this. They basically leave it, because if they take it, then we take back with a knight, and we're holding on to this. So they just ignore it. We take, we take, they take, and then from here, they have to play the move, the crazy, unbelievable, unhuman move. They have to go back to E3 because otherwise, in some lines we're going to be threatening bishop to F5, hitting that C2 pawn. But basically, after that, I'm kind of out of book here. So, you guys get all that? Yeah. Anyway, that's the mainline theory. Okay, so they didn't do that. Now, if they don't take the gambit, if they play knight to C3, then yes, we do want to take this. But if they take back here, then this is the one of the few times where we don't play queen here. We don't play the check. Why? Because normally we want to play the check and then turn around and grab this E4 pawn, but the knight's there. So this is actually an inaccuracy or just a flat out miss. Yeah. So what we do here when the knight's on C3, you got to remember knight C3, knight C3. We take, and now they have to go backwards, and now we push C5. Push C5. And then if they push C3, we play knight C6. And then they're never holding on to, we're holding on to these pawns. If they take, we take with the C pawn, and this is going to be very, very difficult for, this is already lost, minus 1.5 basically. So yeah, I've trained the heck out of this line in my software. So, okay, so going back to what they did, that's an inaccuracy. So we go there. Take the pawn, they take, we take. And then here, okay, C5, pushing D3. I'm not sure I have this exact line in my repertoire because I don't remember ever pushing D3 in an anti-fantasy line. But I'm also not used to them playing what they played. So I'm just used to whenever there's a pawn on D4, and pretty much all of my lines and variations, we just push C5. And then, if they push something like this, I guess the reason why it's a little different is because they have this pawn on D5, which I'm not very accustomed to. Okay, like that. Okay. Wasn't too impressed with taking a free pawn. What? That's a mistake. I was afraid if we do this, I guess we just play knight A6. Or we try to figure out why we are the village idiot. Of course, we just turn around and take the knight. So yeah, I'm a little misstep there on my part. But after here we just take, I guess. Just take that. Oh, it does want us to drop it back. But here and then here. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely out of book there. Okay, so that was a mistake. I did not like that choice. Did not like that choice. I guess the difference is they don't have a pawn chain, but we can play B6 in some lines. Maybe not immediately, but I didn't think that was all that great for black. Whatever, engine. We're still basically winning here. Okay, so we got hammered a little bit on the accuracy because we never wanted to succumb to the temptation of repairing their pawn structure. Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now I'm taking it. I don't mind it because they don't have this protected pass pawn. Why do I want to take a piece and give them a protected pass pawn? That's a very unnatural move to me. And just says, whatever. Yeah, and I'm sorry, right around here, guys. Yeah, I didn't have time. It was less than a minute. I didn't have time to hit the buzzer, but this is an undefended piece, right? This is undefended, 1 versus 1. this is undefended, 1 versus 1. That's a sack all day long with the brilliancy. And we pick up 2 minor pieces for the rook. And then here, I thought I played this pretty well. Didn't like that so much, but it's minus 3.3. I mean, it's all crushing from here. And they blundered into the fork, unfortunately. And then here, the computer doesn't even want to. Yeah, you can't say both of these, right? So I just like, you know what, just take the knight. We'll just push everything up the board. Nothing to really talk about from here. So I finally got to see a fantasy, guys. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, moving on. And here we go with game number 3, I believe. Where's this game for? You gotta be kidding me. See, this is what I was talking about. I knew we were gonna have to get a little bit higher before we saw the fantasy again. Boom. E5. What are they gonna do? They should take. Ooh. They're not taking immediately. They don't know what to do. Same exact thing. Boom. Are we gonna get the same line? I think last time they played knight here, right? Okay. So this line. Okay. So this is now I definitely have this line in my repertoire for sure. Okay. So I'm thinking we have some options here. Again, I'm still thinking bishop f5 to hit the pawn and then castling long. It still looks very attractive. The check, they just block with something. Yeah, I like, let's just develop and attack stuff. Oh, you gotta protect with the king? I want to get a knight to that square. Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot about this move. We play knight to f2. Develop or castle, develop or castle. I'm just messing with you guys.
I'm messing with you guys.
Pause the video. Just testing you. That's a 0-0. Good game. The anti-fantasy strikes again. I know some of you guys are like, bishop e4, bishop e4. Sorry about that, brother. All right, let's see how he did. Okay, so back-to-back fantasies. Wait a minute.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
That's embarrassing. I just now realized this is the same as that guy. One of my friends growing up, like elementary school, middle school, when he would get embarrassed, he'd make like a little umbrella cover over his eyes to trick himself into thinking nobody could see him. Of course, we're gonna get the same thing from the same guy, but at least he I might be the last one on the planet to realize that I just played the same guy 2 times in a row. But usually when you play somebody 2 times in a row, they give you that little 1, like 1.0, 0.0. I mean, we just played them. That's weird. Like, even if you play somebody and you beat them, you gotta play 2 or 3 other people and you come back and play the same person. I don't know what the time frame is, but within a certain amount of time, it will show you what the win-loss ratio is against the same player, and I think after, like, a few hours, if you come out and play the same person, it'll reset it. I don't know when it resets, how long it takes, but so they tried something different here. They went with, yeah, taking on C6. Okay, so that's a mistake. Yeah, yeah. That was our only inaccuracy. So it doesn't like us attacking stuff, huh? And we're threatening that. Wants to develop knight f6, huh? I know for a shadow of a without a shadow of a doubt, I know that move right there is not in my training repertoire. I've never seen f4 there, so I'm not surprised that engine didn't necessarily like what we did. But after that, yeah, this is 0-0 right in the corner. That kind of reminds me of that line in the Queen's Gambit opening where uh, in the Queen's Gambit where white plays d4, black plays d5, we play c4. They take that, we play e3, they try to hold on to it. We push with a4, they support that with c6. We take, they take, and this rook in the corner is wide open. And white plays queen f3, and there's nothing that black can do about that rook in the corner. They actually have to give up their knight on c6. Y'all have no idea maybe what I'm talking about because I'm throwing stuff on top of the other board, but just kind of the same motif is just what it reminded me of. So yeah, I mean, not too much else to talk about. So, uh, I don't know what to say. Sorry, Pierre. Please, please, I need some comments. I need some comments about how what I just did was unacceptable. I didn't even realize we're playing the same guy. Moving on. All right, all right, all right. What will we get? Another exchange, or maybe the advanced? Nope. Exchange. All right, nothing there. Pin and win. What's it going to be on that square? We still don't know. Well, yeah, now I guess we will go ahead and play. I don't know. I kind of want to know what they're going to do. So if they put the knight there, I always have to worry about knight b5, but we can play a6. We'll play one more move, see if they want to show us their cards. Okay. So no queen c7 here. Mm-hmm. Thinking about pinning the knight, but hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll go for that. That maybe threatens knight e4. I'm going to double the pawns, huh? Don't understand that. That appears to lose the bishop. Okay, well, I'm going to snap that off because now if you take with the queen, you're going to double the pawns over here. That looks fantastic. God, how many times have we seen in the Caro-Kann 2 sets of double pawns in the F and the C files? That is whack. All right, let's ask the question. What does the bishop want to do? Okay. Now remember, step 1 in double pawns is you want to stop the advance of the front double pawn if you can, preferably with another pawn. But unfortunately, we can't really stop either of these pawn pushes with that Maroxy bind. So Queen f6 comes to mind just to defend and attack, maybe. Yeah, I kind of like that. Good news for white is they have a couple of files to play with. But good news for us is they have a whole bunch of weak pawns. I think we have a nice move here. Yes. Doesn't necessarily win material, but I think it's a fantastic move. Unless I'm missing something. C5. You can't take that because then we take. That loses everything. And if you don't take, we can push this to C4. Push. Now we lock down these horrible, horrible double pawns. All right, now I think we're ready to castle. Yes, they're going to line up on the G file, but let's go ahead and get the king out of the way. And we don't want to let them get control of the B file, so let's contest that. No. I'm going to force you to do something. Do something else, please. Not hang out on a square where I am tempted to repair your structure. That's good news. Now we have control of the B file. And here I'm looking to trade something. Okay, that weakens this square. I think I might jump in and take advantage of that. Yeah, but then they go here. They want to trade queens. Let's go. We got some back rank weaknesses. I'm going to go here for just a moment. And then we might be threatening this. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind trading here because... Yeah, I think we can just go here and win the pawn. Right? They go here, we just make an escape square. And they can't stop us from winning that pawn. Now, these guys are going to be super, super weak. Let's stop that nonsense. Don't ever want to give them, allow that pawn to get to h6, because then we don't really have an escape square anymore. Now we just take the pawn. Still not going to be easy. They're a bit tied down. Obviously, the king can't move. They drop this. They're a bit tied down, but I wonder if they can just kind of shuffle their rook back and forth on the b file. Yeah, I don't... This is going to be tricky. I guess maybe I need to abandon this and just get the rook all the way down. And then just maybe not even worry about the a pawn. Just come over here and just pick these guys off. That's probably the best strategy. Maybe I should get the pawn all the way down first. They do have that move. But then I just have another pass pawn on this side of the board. So maybe I'll push this all the way down. Yeah, this is so funny for any of my one-on-one clients out there that are looking at this. Remember, rooks belong behind pawns. I just recently did a couple of lessons about that. You got to get back. Yeah. Now we're going to pick that guy off. That's game over. I just did a couple of lessons, some in-game stuff where we looked at some positions exactly like that. All right, I got to speed up. Shut up. Shut up and speed up. Need some speed. Whoa, what? You can't do that. No, 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 sir. No, sir. Mm-mm. And just for grins and giggles, just some giggles, just a few giggles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're two pawns short. Poop. I'm gonna be a masochist here. Take that. We'll go here. Go here? Nah, you can't have that.
You can't touch this.
Mm-hmm. Now they resign. That's too funny. Yeah. All right. Good game. Let's see how we did. Okay, 85%. Ooh, we had some misses and mistakes. Goodness gracious. We had a lot of best moves, a lot of excellent moves. I wonder if it was when I was kind of screwing around there at the end, but most of the time that doesn't lower your accuracy too much. So, that's interesting. Well, let's see where we missed some opportunities. Hmm. Oh, so it does like the pin. Okay, yeah, just thinking maybe if they just do something random like this, and you take, maybe they have to double their pawns. Well, then we can't jump in. Okay, well, yeah, snap that off, create double pawns. Mm-hmm. It's a difference about 3/10. Really? It doesn't. That's the difference about 4/10, 5/10. Doesn't like that, huh? You can't take with the knight. You have to take with the queen. We double two sets of pawns. I don't know. Not sure why the computer's not excited about that. That's a mistake. Is that a mistake? This is great for us. Oh my gosh. Bro,
Bruh.
really? I thought this was an amazing move. Computer hates it. Why? You close this down, you never allow them to push these double pawns, then you lock you lock three of their pawns down with one move. They can't take that. That's immediate game over. Yeah. I thought that was a really nice tactic. I'm gonna have to downgrade chess.com's engine. That was a mistake. Really? We're supposed to let them take that? Yeah, I guess. I mean, we got coordination here. I guess there's nothing they can do about it, but man. Hmm. I'm actually very surprised that it's not liking these moves. I mean, from a human point of view, what's not to like about this? All of these, just look at how many pawn islands. Pawn island, double pawn, isolated double pawns, pawn island. Like, I don't know. Mistake. Wanted to go ahead and take control of the B file, which we did. Yeah, critical move there because otherwise they were gonna double here, and we never. Obviously, we don't ever want to take this because that repairs their structure, and then they have actually a 2-to-1 on us. So very important move, A5 there, and now we're fine. Okay, I did like that with this idea, I guess. Okay, okay, that's good. Taking the queens off. Yeah, and there's nothing they can do. Wants to reach out a little bit more with the escape square. How's that a miss? Are you serious right now? We don't need to rush to take this pawn. We can take it whenever we want. I don't like the idea of this pawn coming here and then potentially getting to h6. I just want to stop I want to stop that mess. Okay, we're gonna have to sit chess.com's engine down and have a little one-on-one. Like, that miss makes no sense to me. Why do we need to push this? Just take the pawn and then push. I don't understand chess anymore. That's a miss? King up is a miss? They're going to give us a check anyway. I think the engine's gone rogue. Or maybe I'm just a bad chess player. That's probably what it is. This is -5. Yeah, now we can abandon. Well, I thought about this, but then I just thought king here. And oh, yeah, of course, of course, of course. They can't go, yeah. But we ended up winning. Come in from behind. Hmm. Yeah, can't trade there. I mean, they're losing anyway, but yeah, saying all these are excellent moves. Okay, so we're screwing around here. We're screwing around. We have absolutely no need to take any of these pawns. We can checkmate in a few moves. So I'm like, I'm screw around. We'll take a pawn. Chess.com says, yeah, man, take the pawn, bro. Oh, yeah. Take another pawn. Keep going, baby. Now, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't need any more pawns. That's what the engine just said to us.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
And I'm just like, greed is good, baby. That's a miss. That was hilarious. Ah, we're just having a little fun. All right, next game. And off to the next game. The Hillbilly Attack. Hmm. Normal stuff so far. We have not played D4. Are they going to play D4? That is the question. Let's put the bishop on D6. I'm waiting for this move at any time. Okay. Mm, guess it's just castle. Mm-hmm. Don't want to allow them to take that. So my initial reaction is bishop D3. Kind of like bishop D3 because they haven't moved their D pawn. So it's not all that easy for them to dislodge that guy. I mean, they can play this. But after rook e1, yeah, I'm thinking knight e4. Oof, this doesn't look all that great for white. Yeah, they're kind of jammed up here. You gotta play d4 earlier than that. I mean, you stick a piece. We talk about the double pawns lesson, right? Well, this is not a backwards pawn. Um, this is not a backwards pawn because it hasn't moved yet, but we kind of treat this like a backwards pawn, an isolated pawn, a double pawn, or whatever. And step number one is stop the advance. Well, we didn't really do that, but step number two is to occupy the square in front. When you stick a piece and jam it in there in front of a pawn that hasn't moved on the second or seventh rank, then it just bottles up your opponent. I had a feeling they weren't going to see this. So the tactic is to take that first. Otherwise, it would have been an even trade. Mm-hmm. So now, at the bare minimum, we can take a2 and win a pawn. Is there anything better than that? The other thing I was looking at is just bishop f4. Looks like that basically wins on the spot. Yeah, bishop f4. I was looking at a couple of different things there. They can't go there. If they back up, we save the bishop. If they take our bishop, we're up to exchange. hmm Okay. Knight c5. I guess I can just go back here. I want that bishop. They do have the bishop pair, so even though we're at the exchange, it's not trivial. I'm gonna play a6 just with the idea of pushing with b5. Yeah. Now I kind of like this little stone wall setup. Although I guess I could play f3 at some point, but then maybe we slide our queen in here to g3. Yeah, I think I'll go for that. It looks pretty decent. Don't have too many good squares for this knight. Oh, you want to trade?
Come on and sing a song all night long, all night long.
We will trade all night long. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Now I'm just kind of thinking old school stonewall rook lift. I guess if they play that, we move, that drops e6. So we probably do need to defend e6 here. And now I want to do a rook lift. But these two bishops are monsters. Make no mistake about that. Yeah, if they get their bishop to this square, that could be fairly annoying. And as always, I have to speed up. hmm Please play that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put the rook on the F file and then push F4. Okay. Drop the queen back. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I am the luckiest.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Ah, no words for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not going to even go over that one. That one was solely for entertainment purposes. Next, another hillbilly attack. Another, wow. Just don't want to put that pawn on D4, huh? Hmm. Hmm. Guess we just castle. I don't think that does too much. Hmm. Okay, we could hit the queen, maybe try to force a concession or a weakness. Does look pretty good. Right. Now they are weak on the diagonal. Don't think I mind too much having double pawns on the F file. You can also just drop it back. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit more better. That's my initial reaction. Also, don't really like that move. We probably want to come here, but we can just go bishop g6. I'm going to play. Actually, they don't have that move. They do not have that move because they played that move. All right, let's play. I'm going to drop the bishop back. I'm going to maybe hope for that. They want to come here? Okay, let's go knight d4 and stop this. So maybe we want to play knight to f5. Looks pretty good. This bishop's not doing anything. It never does anything. Never does anything in the hillbilly. Let's give a check. And then perhaps I'm going to jump the knight in here to e3 with the idea of going to g4 to get to the f2 square, right? Let's hit that. Right. Mm-hmm. We don't have the smothered mate because the knight's there. Okay, let's back up for just a second. Oh, wait, what? Ooh, okay. Let's trade some pieces. We're up the exchange. Um, yeah. All right, we need some more pieces in the attack. I'm going to play f5 with the idea of a rook lift. Knight's pinned. Rook is pinned. King can't move. And we have the amazing, useless light squared bishop. What are you doing about that pawn? Uh-huh. Um, I'm going to sack. Threatening mate. And that's pinned. What are you doing about that move? I would like to know. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, sorry, I didn't have time to hit the tactics recognition buzzer on that. Actually, I guess I did, but on that rook sack. But let's see if we got a brilliancy for that one. 87% with 1 miss and 3 inaccuracies. Let's check it out. I mean, we are on move 4, and it's minus 3/10 of a pawn. I'm so surprised that players at this level, I mean, 1870 is an awesome chess player. Why are you playing the hillbilly attack? It's absolute, total garbage. Yeah, I don't why are they not playing D4 in the hillbilly? I don't get it. Yeah, I talked about that A6 move. That was one of our inaccuracies. I thought about this, right? Because I was like, let's see if we can get them to play this, right? Because if they play this, then yee, that's a 0-0, right? And we have the elementary fork. I mean, doing that doesn't do anything. So the computer, wow. You know, I've said this several times that the computer doesn't set traps, but that is absolutely a trap. But it's not, I mean, it's the best move, not because it's a trap, but they just want to push. Computer just wants to push B4 and force the knight to move. But that's a classic decoy, right? Yeah. So we're like, come over here, try to distract you. Take that pawn. Yeah, that's funny. But that's not. Again, the computer doesn't make moves hoping that the opponent's going to fall for some trap. That actually is the best move because they're assuming the computer's actually assuming that they're not going to take that and they're just going to continue. So that's so funny. That was another inaccuracy. Oh, yes, yes, yes. That is strong, I guess. And then I guess what do they? I guess they just have to. They got to get out of the line of fire. Yeah, I thought I saw something here, but obviously there's nothing there. Oh, I missed that. I guess maybe I was kind of just thinking the smothered mate stuff, but there's a knight there. Could have gone here, hitting the queen, one that's changed that way. But again, I was in smothered mate mode until just like, yeah, there's no smothered mate. You just have to go back. I don't know why they gave it the exchange. They could have just repeated there. At every move weakens something. That severely weakens that E4 square. I am always looking for holes in the position when a pawn moves. That is an absolutely beautiful, juicy outpost. Middle game strategy number 9, reroute your pieces to outposts. Yeah. And then they're in trouble here. This is just flat out lost. We're up to exchange anyway, but minus 3.5. I mean, okay, so it did like kind of this stonewall idea, rook lift. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, should have sacked with the queen. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I can't do anything here. You can't abandon that pawn and you can't stop that move. So nothing to do here. That was a nice little sacrifice, but all right, cool. Let's go. All right, game number 7. I just played this guy from the, from the white side. Don't know how I got paired up with him again so fast. The exchange variation, the Panov, or delayed Panov. Yeah. Sometimes I forget which knight to take back with. This is one of those times. Feel like it's the D knight just so they don't have the immediate check. Yeah, here we just kick it. Just kick it. Ooh, like to see that. Huh. That right there is a 0 versus 0. Good game. That was weird. Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. But Carmen, we're trying to. Screw you guys. Home.
Well, um, yeah. Not a very long game, so obviously not too surprising there. Yeah, so now we kind of transposed back into like a Panov type position with this C4 move. It's the difference in 9/100ths. Uh, I chose poorly. Yep, not much else to say there. All right, let's continue on. Game number 8 with the early F4. Bishop F5. We've seen this a whole bunch. E6. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes me want to play C5. Check though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna play A6 because I don't like these. Don't like the checks. Let's play H5, knight H6 as usual. Don't know what that does. Let's go queen B6. If bishop E3, we have knight G4. Okay. That looks like a tasty square, potentially. On E3. Yeah. I'm almost tempted to leave that as like a fishing pole trap. I'm going to do it. The computer's not going to like it, but I'm going to do it. Let's have some fun. They're confused. Yeah. They don't want to take it. Okay, let's just develop then. Yeah, so here I was thinking takes, check, king here, push, game over. Yeah, they can't take that. But we're threatening, if you don't, then we're threatening that. You don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ooh, we're gonna see it. Even if you block with a rook, that's still gonna hurt. That was nasty. Bro, that was just nasty. That was just plumb nasty.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Yeah. Not much you can do here, my friend. Just not much you can do. So here I was just thinking just take the knight and the rook is still pinned. I don't think we have a knockout, do we? Yeah, we just take the knight, then take the rook on the next move. Or actually, yeah. Yeah, so yeah. I should have hit the buzzer on that other long line that we went through, but here we just take with the pawn because if you take the rook, we promote. If you take with the queen, then we take with the queen. You can't take because, yeah, yeah. Actually, man, it's nasty. Goodness gracious.
Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind?
Yeah, well, I think we're just going to counsel on, boys. What you doing about that? Mm-hmm. Mm, yeah, really don't have a square for this bishop, but I don't even want the bishop. Don't even want it. Yeah, some's going to hurt hurt here in just a minute. Just a moment. Yes. Yeah. Kudos to my opponent for not resigning here and toughing this out. This is brutal. Ouch. Oh. You toughed it through this far, buddy. Um, that game right there might have had the most tactics of the entire speed run.
I'm very, very sorry you were put through this.
Let's see how we did. Okay, so 85%, and we had a brilliancy. But we did have a blunder. I bet the blunder was the fishing pole trap that the computer the computer didn't like. Yeah, I can feel it coming. Yep. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, never likes my A6 move. C5 was the best. I don't know why people are so reluctant lately, especially at these higher levels, 18, 1900s, 1900 level player, and they're scared to play D4. It's weird. Mhm. Yeah, so that was one of our mistakes. Okay, yeah, so that was the blunder. Yeah. Little fishing pole trap, which usually is in the Rai Lopez opening, E4 opening, but I just felt like having some fun, you know. Yeah, they should have taken it. And just says this is plus 2.4. I mean, it's dangerous, but objectively it's bad. They take, we take, but man, just the H file opening up, Queen City on this diagonal just looks fun to me. This is the kind of stuff that I would play. This is the kind of stuff that I would play in my own games. Is probably one of my biggest weaknesses. Is I'm a bit too aggressive, and I like to. But part of it is I just like to have fun. I just enjoy sharp, double-edged positions where I sacrifice something, and a lot of times I won't see some defensive resource like 4 or 5 moves deep into the calculation, and like, oh, I didn't see that they had this resource, and I end up losing in like half a move later. But uh, to me, it's all about having fun. So yes, we do want to play good principle. Knight C6 is our brilliancy. What? Yeah, just leaving our knight sitting there. I mean, this might be like a move that a 230 level player would play. It's like just leave your piece hanging. Just leave us in there hanging. Brilliancy. Uh yeah, and now black has a nice advantage here. Yeah, it's almost lost. Okay, let's see if this sequence of moves was right. That was correct. Best. Yeah, they shouldn't have taken that. Yeah, that's basically their only move there because otherwise we're threatening to push with the discovered check forking about 11 pieces, and so they missed that. And then here's just yeah. Okay, nice. So that was a cool little sequence of moves. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's a hard move to see. It took me a little bit to see that because if they take the rook, then we just turn around and make another queen, and this is protected the whole time. So taking with the pawn was best. And then I mentioned this right before I played. I was like, oh, we'll just take the queen or whatever. But nope, we got the little deflection tactic, right? Always consider every single check, no matter how silly For weird it looks or seems, gotta consider every single check. We hit them from behind. Um, should have gone here immediately. Ah, yes, I missed this idea. So check, king here, check, king here, and turn around and go back to F2 mate. Yep, I missed that. I thought this was still very good, of course. Yeah, best move. That's kind of oof. Brutal check. The pawn is pinned. Sack the rook. They take the old Arabian mate. Game over. That was a good one.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, we're rumbling along. Here we go with game number 9. It's crazy, I tell you. Once again, a lack of D4. Don't get it. Let's see if we can get them to do our little thing. Do it. Just do it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the computer wants us just to drop the bishop back. We don't have our fun G file to play with. Ooh, I was wondering if they were going to play that move. That right there looks like an absolute howler of a move. I'm not sure which one of these is best. I'm torn between bishop f4, bishop e7, or king up. Neither of these moves completely traps the queen, although it looks really, really bad. If we play bishop e8, e7, they can just go here. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with king up. And then this traps the queen. If they take, they have that square. The other thing I was trying to calculate a few moves ago, or the last move, is bishop f4, queen here, then bishop back to e5. Um, that looks really bad too. I mean, really, really bad. Like super bad. Hmm. This is gonna hurt. This is going to hurt. If they go back here, we have that move. Yeah. Yeah. And now you can't defend that. And now we get to save our bishop. Yeah, probably just a check. Don't want to take with the pawn because that drops e6. So I'm actually going to take with the king. And then rook here and just drop it back probably to f4, slide the king back, and then we get to play on the g file some more. Hmm. Probably knight here, still bishop f4. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. I'm gonna go rook d8. I want to protect. That's not a good move. I know it's not a good move, but I'm thinking of maybe playing knight to e5. Now that move I don't understand. What's the point of that? I kind of wanted to go here anyway. Oh, that's why I wanted to cover d8 so we could go knight to e5 so we could go queen c6 and get on the diagonal. And now we're threatening to, what are we threatening? Yeah, I just want to snap this knight off. You can take here, but we'll take here and you're still pinned. What is that? What in the world is that move? Now you got to move this rook. And then we take and then come here, right? Hmm. And all this time, can't you guys fully understand why the hillbilly is so good? Look at that awesome piece. It's sitting there doing nothing. Okay. Little deflection tactic. Yeah, I see. Well, now you can't go back because your knight's hanging. Go here, takes, takes, discover check. winning the rook on g8. Okay. Gonna have to beat him. Got checked up there. Gonna have to beat him on time, boys. That was a mouse slip by me, by the way. Oh, God, that was a mouse slip. What am I doing? That was 2 mouse slips in a row. How funny is that? We're gonna beat him on time, but that was crazy. I tried to swallow. I got choked up, and it caused me to make like 2 mouse slips. That was terrible. So before I even go back and analyze, let me take you guys back. So, okay. So right here, we're fine. Yeah. Yeah. And then right here, I said, I was trying to say we're gonna have to beat him on time, and I meant to take this. And I like choked and I like pushed I pushed the pawn up. That's a horrible move. and then I mouse slipped there. I messed because I clicked the That's a brilliancy. That's absolutely a brilliancy. I picked up okay, so what I was thinking was they had put the move the move before, they put their bishop on a light square, right? So I went up and I was thinking, "Oh, we can take that pawn because they don't have a discovery because our king's on a dark square." So I picked up the rook and I was ready to go take this e5 pawn, and then I saw that they moved the bishop, and I was like, "Oh, I can't take it because that's protected by the rook." So when I dropped it, I dropped it on h5. Yeah, here I was just pre-moving just to win on time. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. I don't even wanna look at the accuracy on that one either. I guess we will. I've already skipped the accuracy on one of them. So this accuracy probably I'm gonna guess 77.6. He almost has 77.6. Yeah, we yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more brain cells on that. Okay, so another hillbilly. Yeah, pretty normal stuff. Again, the engine doesn't like it, but I like it because we've had some really fun, good positions when they took there. And yep, you can see engine says that is a no-no. Now here, I will say that in most of these lines where they take on f6, we haven't had too many positions where they were able to play knight h4, which actually is a very good move because we don't want to allow them to triple our pawns, but if we pull it back and if they take, then we don't have the semi-up and G file anymore. So it still says, yeah, I think we've seen at least one game earlier in the speed run where I don't think I dropped the bishop back, and I remember that being a bit of an inaccuracy. And I'm actually surprised they didn't take that. Yeah, F5's got to be the best move. And then here, I must have spent at least a minute, and I was looking at this, this, and this. Yep, and bishop h2 is the best move, which I never considered. So this is -2.5. My inaccuracy brought it down to -1.9, so that's about 6/10 of a pawn. So let's take a look at the other ones. What was this? Yeah, that was my initial reaction, but then I just saw they go here. But then maybe this is the best move. I should have spent a little bit more time on this because here we just have this, right? Yeah, hitting the queen, hitting this. I was so wrapped up in trying to trap the queen that I just kind of blew off this idea of forking that. So the other thing I was thinking about was this, but then they just go queen h6. Yeah, that's a worse inaccuracy. And yeah, we don't want to take that. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I should have gone with the bishop f4 move, but I was just thinking here. I was just hoping that now we go here and that traps the queen, of course. But that's a good move to stop that, even though the computer hates that move. Because now, yeah, I thought about this here. Yes, I did. Just to mess up their pawn structure. Because if they go here, we just take that with the queen, and that drops the knight. Yeah, they can't do that. So, yeah, I could have played that a little better. But here, I was just thinking we are absolutely going to sack on g3. I mean, they can't go here. They go here, we push, and then they have to get off the defense of the g3 pawn. Oh, we could have played f4. Yeah, that's true. That looks good too. Oh, it doesn't like that. How does it not like that? Yeah, yeah. And I'm loving this position. Yeah, we got there. We got there. Bishop f4. We got there. And then here's very complicated. Okay, that was okay. So I'm glad I saw that because I thought for a while here, I think, yeah, 141 down to 109. I spent 30 seconds on this. And I just knew I wanted to get to the square, but I didn't want to drop d4. Yeah, now we get there and we open up the diagonal. So I'm glad to see those were the best moves there. Yeah, best. That was another mistake. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so it did like that. Good try to get us off of this. I thought about b5, but then they just take that. And then we go here and it goes bishop c4. So I was like, okay, we'll try. Because then it's like you can't go back to kick us again because your knight's hanging. So that gives us the rook. But now I'm down to 20 seconds as usual. And then here, this is just completely lost. That was the best move, so that was the best move. It was fine. And then here's where I started going on life support and not being able to breathe, making mouse. Oh man, just take, 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 take. Come here, pick this up, and roll. Yeah, -5. Oh man. And then here it's like, oh, you got a free pawn. Nope, drop it on h5. All right. Well, we eked out the win on time. Nice little flag there. All right, game number 10 coming up. One more. All right, here we go, guys. I might let this be the last game of the 1800 level. Uh, golly, nobody wants to play d4. Okay, I'm going to play this h5 move since there's no knight on f3. Okay. Knight h6. Don't push that. All right, let's go C5, I guess. Knight C6. I'm going to play A6. Don't necessarily, it's not an issue right now, but I'm thinking about B5 just so that when I go Queen B6, they don't have Knight E4. Let's expand. Let's grab some space, as they say. Like this B4 move again. Ooh, doesn't look right. Are they really going to play B3? That does not look right at all. That is a huge juicy square on C3. That makes me want to stick a bishop right there. And they can just take it. Yeah, I guess we'll do that anyway. Ooh, that allows this. Yeah, I don't think that's right. And now we got these two bishops staring down. That makes me want to put a rook on the C file and just jam them up in here. That looks like a pretty big mistake to me. Yeah, here I was just thinking castle. I mean, that's too greedy. I don't think they can stop that anyway. Let's just castle. What the heck, man? Don't pre-move in the middle of the game. Yeah, that's rough. Let's see how we did. All right, 87%, one miss, one mistake, and three inaccuracies. What is this, bro? Like, these are 1900 level players. Why are you playing D3? Let me see. That was one of our inaccuracies. Okay, now we play C5. That's good. God, look at this. Look at this, guys. We're up a pawn. The material's dead even. And on move 9, the engine has it at -1 because of that inferior move. Yeah, never likes that. Really? That's a mistake? I actually thought that was good. What did it want us to do here? It wanted us to just develop. Yeah, I don't know. That knight on the rim is dim. Yeah, I think they should have just taken that. Right. Because now, yeah, sitting there on that fork and yeah, this looks really bad. I mean, these pieces are kind of stuck. That is a sweet tactic. Wow. Check. This is game over if you take that. You have to block. It's almost mate. That's a nice one, yeah, with the bishop here covering the G1 escape square. Yeah. Probably should have seen that. Yeah, and then we just infiltrate. I guess I guess because we're on move 62, they just assumed that we couldn't castle. I don't know. It was weird. All right. So yeah, so I think I'll stop the speed run there on this leg, and we've got one more to go from 1900 up to 2000. So as always, I hope this one was pretty entertaining as well as instructive. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Please consider subscribing, leaving a comment on literally anything, and leaving that like, smashing that like button. And thanks so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one.